Everything for agina and that's region a year court and sense so much as a air coso. Ye name a year Richie Japa and a court and sense much as a air coso, a womaga pneumonia D. Now, Ukopium home and somebody the Ibebre. Ne no ene Sammy Gyamfi so Ebeka say or no why very disappointment Pama a year atonic Jena a whole Ghana country like this as just as Sammy Gyamfi a day in some be a to near. The other Macasha saying someone no Ibebre election year any woman in some more magan and why she. Two parties no NDC ni MPP obia epre ese ne fried bar betimi abaye president e wo magane mu nti assembly de beto ho mu a senior na nkasa no obesi aka asam no sompo no obewurewure mu no na asam no enye no kre na yenkotie eye senti a Sammy Gyamfi kasa asam we say why very disappointment ama atonic general in some de ayebebre e wo magane mu aha kinto TV miswe ni dem say no face that would back into TV so message versus Kawame now one shot to other platform no comment section as a more emphasis say we will notification bell so am I send me block into TV why first person now winner in 70 BT we will hone okoso e wo omaga na any we are saying afanina maybe so so that you know for coming na me no
but they took the position of health ministers. Both of them were stuck against this process, the same process that Attorney General today is stuck against. Let's listen to Sammy Gyamfi first and then we'll tell you the details. Have a look at the video.
Well, today was another day of shame for our country. It was another day of national embarrassment because our Attorney General and principal legal advisor to the government came to court to once again display sheer ignorance, embarrassing the nation, making a mockery of himself, and wasting the time of everybody. And I stand here feeling very sad and ashamed as a Ghanaian that this is the level of thinking and knowledge of the Attorney General. Clearly, this is a man who does not understand his own case. And you've seen how Jakpa has schooled him today on his own case. You know, to start with, the Attorney General suggested that Big C could not supply genuine ambulances because they had overpaid themselves. They and Jakpa had overpaid themselves in fees. But Jakpa educated the AG that this is an agreement which went through the Health Committee of Parliament, the Finance Committee of Parliament, the Cabinet, went to the PPA for approval. And in fact, if you look at Exhibit X, which is the legal opinion authored by the Attorney General on this whole matter, the Attorney General was categorical that all the necessary statutory approvals which are conditioned precedents for the agreement had been met. And so clearly, the Attorney General cannot be making that argument.
That was Sammy Gyamfi talking about the ambulance. Now let's see the details. Richard Jakpa claimed that the AG's assertion was not correct because, according to him, the contract had received relevant approvals from Cabinet and Parliament. The Attorney General then asked Jakpa to look at the Cabinet approval and parliamentary approval and indicate where either Cabinet or Parliament approved the contract with Big C. Jakpa's claim was shown to be false as he could not point to anything in both the Cabinet and parliamentary approvals by which Big C contract was approved. Both the Cabinet and Parliament approvals rather related to the approval of a proposed Stanbic Bank facility which was never used. So the Cabinet of Professor Mills, who started looking at this, which included, of course, the Vice President John Dramani Mahama, wanted to insulate the government of Ghana from any potential losses. Good decision. So they decided that these letters of credit should be issued by a private bank. That private bank will do an assessment of the potential of the people to deliver the ambulances. Once the ambulances are delivered to the government of Ghana takes the debt, they will pay. But before the ambulances are delivered, let the government of Ghana share the risk. That's what they say, share the risk. So because they wanted to share the risk, the government of Ghana made a decision that, and in the cabinet, they made a decision that Stanbic will issue the LC. Stanbic will be interviewing everybody concerned with the chain of production of the ambulances to make sure that Stanbic is holding private people's money. It's not going to just dole out the money to you just like that. No, because if they do so, they are going to be in trouble with their shareholders. So Stanbic was going to do all the work, all the checks and balances and everything. And if Stanbic came to the conclusion that yes, we think we can issue this LC on behalf of the government of Ghana, then the government of Ghana will be confident, and then when the ambulances come, they will pay. So the decision was made by the cabinet of Professor Mills and the parliament, that will be the sixth parliament, and the sixth parliament, which was led by
Sammy Gyamfi, how can the whole Attorney General not know his work? Now, so the SC one, so much say, you decide about the big C. And also on yet the big C to only AG and Sammy Gyamfi lawyer, Emma NDC say, and also on tax say a whole Attorney General, only Regima, young Kwana young Quatras, Nayana, a year for Orchard, or also or church in Semi Emma.
Supreme Court Judge Joyce Banfordado, they made a decision that this is the process in which the government of Ghana will procure the ambulances. Ambulances will be procured by an agent. It will be fixed by somebody who fixes ambulances. The person who is fixing the ambulances should rest assured that if government of Ghana does not pay, Stanbic will pay. For government of Ghana, Stanbic are already there who are telling them that they will pay if the government of Ghana doesn't pay. So the person who is going to produce the ambulances is confident and satisfied that I can produce the ambulances. That is the context of an LC. That's what it is. So when Parliament was looking at it, Parliament noticed that Stanbic are cushioning government of Ghana from any potential risk in case the ambulances don't come. So Madam Anyitey, who is was the Minister of Health at the time, refused to accede to this request that Stanbic will be taken out of the equation, that the government of Ghana must issue the LC upon itself. That means government of Ghana is going to issue the LC and it will be drawn on the government of Ghana's money. That's what happened. Stanbic of Ghana was taken out. Anyitey said to them, and the letter is part of the evidence before the court, that if Stanbic is not in this deal, I do not see how I can go ahead as Minister for Health, because the parliamentary approval that you have brought to me shows that Stanbic Bank will issue the LC. Today, Richard Jakpa was asking court, look at the cabinet approval, look at the parliamentary approval, show me where Big C was supposed to do any work. He was unable to point out. So where did Big C come from? So that at the end of the equation, they have earned 2.1 million or so for their agent in Ghana, Richard Jakpa, to have earned 700,000. Richard Jakpa was unknown to the Mills cabinet that discussed the ambulance and that produced the cabinet approval. Big C was completely unknown to the cabinet of Professor Mills that looked at the ambulance situation. Big C and Richard Jakpa were completely unknown to all the members of the finance committee of the 6th parliament that looked at it, and the plenary of the parliament, all of whom considered it and approved the contract. Big C and Richard Jakpa was unknown to them. Somehow, come 2013-2014, Big C and Richard Jakpa have become a big part of this whole ambulance contract. And the late Anyitey said that I do not see how I can proceed with this. Anyitey's letter is part of the prosecution's document. So viewers, you see, these details are very, very important for all of us young people growing up as Ghanaians, so that we can understand where to set the standard in future. How does cabinet look at a matter without the name of Paul Adomotri? It's not inside. They produce the matter. It goes to Parliament. They approve it without the name of Paul Adomotri. Then, in the end, a minister is sent a letter that please approve this. Minister says, attach the cabinet and the parliamentary approval. It comes, the minister says, I see a dichotomy between what cabinet approved and this one. Almost like a discrepancy. For that reason, I cannot proceed. Richard Jakpa has the harshest of words for Anyitey, Setekbe, Alexander Segbefia. Richard Jakpa, he has the harshest of words, because they were telling him that you, Richard Jakpa, and your Big C are complete strangers to this contract approved by cabinet and approved by parliament. What the Attorney General is seeking to prosecute is that what happened was contrary to what parliament approved and what cabinet approved, and in the process, it had occasioned the government of Ghana 2.3 or 2.1 million euro loss, out of which 700,000 was paid to Richard Jakpa's bank account. That's the story of the ambulance. That's the story. What is the role of Kesela Tuforsen? He was the minister who facilitated the direction of Richard Jakpa and Big C, contrary to Anyitey's view, Contrary to the views of Alexander Segbefia, the next minister, still in the Mahama administration after Anyitey. This is the story. Whether the court sees it as blue or the court will see it as red, we don't know. We have to wait for the judge. But these are the facts of the story. And today in court, Richard Jakpa was given the document. Have a look at the parliamentary approval. Have a look at the cabinet approval. Is your name in there? Is Big C's name in there? How did they get in to be able to come in and occasion financial loss to the state? That's the story. Let me see whether I can read something here to you. It says in this first paragraph, the prosecution established in courts through Jakpa and with the aid of documentary evidence that Madam Anyitey, as Minister for Health under the Mahama administration, had at various times written to Big C instructing them to stop supplying the vehicles because of the contractual issues and the fact that her ministry had no money to establish the LC. Also, Mr. Alex Segbefia, Minister of Health, who succeeded Anyitey, also wrote 2 letters complaining about the vehicles as not fit for purpose as ambulances after they arrived. In one of the letters written by Alex Segbefia to Big C, he described the vehicles as ordinary vans which could not be converted into ambulances. Meanwhile, the contract required Big C to supply fresh functioning ambulances to Ghana and not ordinary vehicles which they would later attempt to convert into ambulances. It was again established in court more than 2 years after the vehicles were delivered in 2014. The NDC government could not convert them into ambulances before they exited office in 2017. The vehicles were left to rot at the Air Force Base because they were unsuitable to be converted into ambulances. Documents produced by the Attorney General for Jakpa to read showed that the vehicles were ordinary vans incapable of being converted into functional ambulances. Further to the above, it was clearly pointed out in court that contrary to Jakpa's claim that Big C was authorized to convert the vans into ambulances, Big C was only licensed by the ISO to convert vehicles into ambulances in April 2015, whereas the contract with Big C was signed in 2012 and the vehicles delivered in 2014. So, Big C, as a company that was capable of converting vehicles to ambulance, obtained their license from the International Standards Organization in Geneva in 2015. This contract was approved in 2012-2013 by the Mills Cabinet. This is the story. This is the story. This is the story. Nothing more, nothing less. This is what they are battling out in court. And this is what took a phone recording. This is Justice Kulendi, Afiedun Ketia press conference. Now, viewers, you can see that as we get to the end of the story, you can now understand the verve with which these guys wanted the court's case to die at some point. Sammy Gyamfi has found his voice again because there's been tremendous pressure on him during the Jakpa episode in the box that he was not coming to talk. He was not coming to talk.